I've elected this afternoon, now we are live in YouTube. I've elected this afternoon to go live on 4 platforms, one platform essentially across 3. We have Facebook Oversoul and the Architects of Passion. We have Facebook Ray Coates Voice, and we have my personal Facebook page, and we have, last but not least, YouTube Live, all at the same time. So, different devices, simple as. I'm a little old fashioned at times in the way I do things. But anyway, I've chosen as a theme here, this is for us all. And I am going to give some detail on that in a moment, some context on that in a moment. So this is for us all. And no justification, no over explanation. It's wonderful to see people there. No justification, no over explanation, and no pity. And that's coming from me. And I'm going to share a context, details of 2 things that I've been sharing for some period of time now. And that's where the no pity comes in. Because in life, whatever you're doing, whatever you're working at, sometimes things don't work out as you originally planned them. And that's where our adaptability comes in as a human being. We work around certain things, and my goodness me, we've all become experts in that. And above all else, the reason this is for us all is because whilst we may share different things, we all have the same opportunity of life. How do you feel about justification, over explanation, pity? And none of those things am I aiming to achieve in sharing the message that I'm sharing now. At times, we all have feelings of shame and guilt and vulnerability, frustration. I look at social media, whether there was one person here or 1 million people here, genuinely, it would make no difference to me. I think 1 million would be amazing, but it wouldn't make any difference to what I'm sharing. That's the point I'm making. Now, social media is such that the platforms don't always give the equal opportunity to everybody. So there's me in comparison to whoever Elon Musk's, shall we say, for example, and I'm just literally just picking a name out of a hat. It's different. It's different. And of course, I understand that. And that's where there's no pity. That's where there's no justification, no over explanation. But at times when you're endeavoring to share something, not just that is your own personal passion, that really you feel so driven and motivated towards for the connection of humanity. That's a big thing. And at times that can be a challenge. When you're doing that with the popular addiction of offence, so there are many people, and I would suggest predominantly within particular groups, there is this desire, and I don't even know if it's a desire, sometimes it's not necessarily a planned thing. I'm not saying it is, but people lean towards being easily offended to the point where if you have an alternate view to that view that people have, it could be in relation to gender, it could be in relation to religion, it could be in relation to the uneven distribution of wealth, it could be in relation to a number of different topics, and your view doesn't match with somebody else's view. It's become so much now that you cannot express your view, ironically, in a world that's supposedly meant to be inclusive and meant to have freedom of speech. And that's partly why I'm doing 4 concurrent lives, if you like, because I want to capture the same message in all of these places. And particularly today, in regard to something that's probably taken me a couple of weeks to get round to sharing. because I've had to deal with my feelings towards this particular thing. And again, that's where I'm sharing context. I'm sharing, if anything, an update for those who do follow what I do and follow more accurately and even better the intention, the motivation, the determination that's behind why I do what I do. So, two things. One, this coming Friday, Caroline, lovely to see you. I feel that people are usually easily offended only when and if they're not secure in their own truth. Yeah, great comment. Great comment. And so true. So this Friday, let's begin with that. This Friday is Good Friday, as it's called by many. Now, over the last couple of weeks, I've shared a couple of social media posts that have questioned the ownership of days. And individuals have made some really interesting comments. That's why, particularly YouTube as well, on the Oversold Truth Music YouTube channel, we welcome comments. Because otherwise, which is okay, it's just me sharing my view. Likewise, all of the different Facebook pages, likewise, or whatever social media platform it is, I am not only interested in my voice, only. I am interested in my voice with good reason, but I'm interested in our voice. One voice, we are one. But across the last couple of weeks, I've been sharing posts that have questioned particularly religious ownership of days. And that was with a build up to this Friday in mind, which is known, particularly in the Christian calendar and Christian beliefs, as Good Friday by many. Even within secular holidays, it's known as Good Friday by many. Now, many would keep that from a religious point of view, remembering with deep respect and deep faith on the part of individuals, which is their expression, their faith in Jesus Christ, and their faith in what the death of Jesus achieved. Now, by no means, this is not justification, this is not over-explanation, this is not pity. By no means is the song that I'm releasing this Friday intended in any way to only be released as a means of offending others. And perhaps, maybe some could say, well, release it on another day then. No, categorically, no. I will not. Days do not belong to one particular organisation. Days, time, hours, minutes, seconds belong to us all, and they are precious. I'm also not an advocate for sharing only one way of being. There are many ways of being, but I don't buy into just the one-dimensional narrative that many feel is popularized. It's a popular culture thing now where whatever is the newsworthy thing that's getting shared, that's the thing. And nothing else exists at that time. Well, my view is, and I'm not going to over-explain, and I'm not going to go into detail of explaining, in the biblical account of the portrayal of Jesus is a character that even if you don't know the Bible, you'll know the name. That's the point. And the name is Judas. Now, Judas in a name, for many, even without a Christian faith, has become synonymous with blame, betrayal, shame, guilt. Without question, if somebody betrays you in your life, it's often the case that we may use the phrase, you Judas, you right Judas. Well, my thought is, I'm at least going to question this targeting, this projected blame and shame. And one of the major reasons is because I've experienced it. And most likely, genuinely, I've done it. I've projected blame, shame, guilt onto others from my perspective. So Judas wept too is questioning a commonly used phrase, Jesus wept. And even those that have betrayed others, it depends, of course, on the context. I respect that. Remember, it's a song, and you can't capture every single possible connotation within that period of time. All the best with that one. But it is simply to question this attachment of labeling, blame, guilt, shame, that effectively in a YouTube video I'm sharing this week becomes a shit sandwich. And you, as a human being, are in the middle of it. So Judas wept too is my representation for anyone who's been that person who's been the target of blame and shame and questioning the narrative. Why would it be this person that wept bitterly according to what was written and actually, tragically, committed suicide? Why would that person then become, if they were a person, why would they then become the means of literally becoming a scapegoat? That I question, and that I creatively question on my own behalf and on behalf of us all. And that will be released this Friday, otherwise known as Good Friday. So that's the first thing I want to explain, the intention there and the purpose there. I look at it across social media. It's like a glorified, at times, recycling of shit. It's a glorified recycling of crap, if you want a slightly toned down word. People are sharing meaningless nothingness. I was thinking earlier on today, comedians, that's not the medium I use currently, but comedians use humour with great effect. Great effect. They are surgeons of the human consciousness at times. They're doing some fine work to adjust what becomes the commonality way of thinking. Now, that's not what I do. What I do is I write. I'm a writer, I'm a creator. I use music as the means of that creation. But again, I return to this thought. Not justification, not over-explanation, not pity. I know why I do what I do. And I know it's not necessarily popular across social media platforms. Here's another message. Myself and Michelle had vegan hot dogs yesterday. Oh my goodness me. Wow. They were amazing. Incredible. Onions, mustard, ketchup, relish. Wow. It was one of those things where, never mind eating it, me particularly ironically, I was wearing it. Attacked by a hot dog. Goodness me, it was all over me, so to speak. So I nearly put out into social media, I nearly took a photograph, I don't know why I'm going all old-fashioned with photograph there, nearly took a photograph of the hot dog because it looked so amazing. I didn't. I'm not criticising people if that's what you want to do. If you want to continue to recycle whatever is the popular thing that is the message that's trending at the moment, that's your business, that's up to you. But my view is, and my experience is, we are here to create, and we are here to refresh, not to recycle, or even worse, regurgitate that which is old. We're here to create new. Doesn't mean that which has been doesn't have some nostalgic place, but we're here to create new. That's why we are creators. Whether you believe in a creator or not, You cannot deny the creative ability that is inherent in us. And not only do I do that on my own, not only do I do that on my own, I join with others in doing that. One voice. We are one. Who knows? I'm not planning to get buried. Bit of a morbid thought, but there we are. It happens eventually, doesn't it? But whatever will be my epitaph, I've actually made a decision. Because it's going to happen. That would be one of the things that I would share as my epitaph. One voice, we are one. I'm not interested in division. I'm no fool, and I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I'm not interested in, perpetuating it constantly. YouTube looks like it's gone, but it might come back. There you go, it's come back now. So I'm not interested in perpetuating that which is bleeding obvious. It's bleeding obvious that there is division. It's bleeding obvious that there are fat cats who are predominantly in control of this system particularly, but they're only in control if we let them. So here we go. Here's number 2. So number 1, I've already talked about Judas Wept 2. That's out this Friday. Even if you're Christian, this is not exclusive. This is inclusive. Listen to the song with interest. Listen to it with interest. Because it's talking about somebody who has become synonymous with blame, guilt, with blame, shame, guilt, and the Anthem project. I sought funding from the National Arts Council in the UK. I've done it now 3 times. To bid for funding, goodness me. Anyone who's ever done it, it's a very, very long-winded, detailed thing to have to do. Now, the bid has not been successful. So I'm sharing that now. That's not pity. That's not pity. The Community Anthem project. It's about community. It's about an anthem, not just a song. No funding. Therefore, what's Ray going to do? Well, quite simply, back to the drawing board. And back to the drawing board is to do not the original scale of plan. So the original scale of plan was big, really big, hence the need for funding. Version. Because that's the situation I have. There's nothing I can do about that. Apart from, as we all do, our best. I don't think I need to say this, but is it about fame and fortune? Not that I've seen so far. No. It's about bringing us together. Bringing us together in a song, an anthem that is of the people, not is prescribed to the people. So effectively, like a localized Band-Aid, but without the celebrities. A musical petition box, a musical post-it note suggestion box. That's the idea of the anthem. I will complete it this year. I haven't got the funding to share it in cinemas, for example. That was part of the original plan. However, I intend to incorporate as many as I can to be involved. So the Community Anthem Project, cap, I'm not wearing the cap. You can see a couple of flyers behind me, and those that know, and those that have supported, very grateful for you. But this is a clarion call. I can't do this on my own. That's not pity. That's not frustration. That's just factual evidence. And I welcome the support of as many as possible. I think it's most likely to take place in my local community of the northwest of the UK to begin with, but I'm not going to close the door because maybe, perhaps, who knows, It's meant to be something else. And that will become apparent. But I'm sharing through these platforms these two messages. Judas wept too. The architects. So that's a new creative name that is being shared this coming Friday, 7th of April, 2023. I nearly got the year wrong there. And the Community Anthem Project. So they are happening. There's been adjustment. There could well be offence caused. And that's a popular thing today, as we've mentioned. There could be an element of confusion. There could be disagreement. The intention is, where do we come together? We feel our own shame. We feel our own guilt. That's good. That's part of being human. But my goodness me, we're meant to be living in an awakened age. So why is it that people are vilified for maybe changing their belief system, for not continuing in a faith? And if you've ever experienced that, you know, because you were made to feel like the worst of the worst. You had every element of betrayal, shame, guilt, and shame projected on you. It was put on you. It didn't come from you. It was put on you. So this Friday, Judas wept too. If that's been your experience of projected shame, projected guilt, becoming a target of blame, then Judas wept too is for you. And that's why the architects, and that's why I'm releasing the song this Friday. Community Anthem Project, I'm holding out a hand. I'm holding out a hand. Wherever it can be seen, I'm holding out a hand. Because particularly, let's focus on the Northwest, but not saying not beyond. My intention is to write a song with as many people as I can. And that song to represent us. Not some celebrity, not some politician, not some religious leader, thinking they can talk on behalf of the everyday people. The amounts of money that are getting passed around in these institutes and organisations. I don't consider myself poor, by the way. But we will write a song. One voice, we are one. That's what the Community Anthem Project is. So if you've caught up with this, I'm doing this relatively early on Wednesday. I'm in the recording studio tomorrow. We're just under 25 minutes. That's not bad. That's not bad. The friends that I have in Facebook, this will be here for a few days. This will be here forever. Take a listen. Take a look. And I'll be grateful for any support that I can receive in my intention, which is concluding words. One voice. We are one. Catch you soon. Take care. Have a wonderful couple of days, and whatever you have planned for whatever you call this time of year for you, remember, humanity lives. We are it. We're not looking to other people. We are. We are. And we can do so much in this life to create a better life for ourselves, not only for ourselves, but for as many others as we can as well. One voice, we are one. See you soon. Bye-bye.